Today we're going to do something a little bit different, and we're going to revisit Hebrews 1 through 4, and see how this entire sentence works together. So I'll read it through once in Greek, and then we'll see how the various constituent parts relate. Palumeros kai palutropos, palai ho theos la lesas tois patrasen en tois prophetais. Epischatu ton hemeron tuton, elales en hemin en huio. Hon etheken kleronomon panton, dihu kai epoiesen tus aionas, has on apaugasma tes doxes kai character tes ubostasios autu. Feronte ta panta to remati tes dunamios autu, catharismon ton hamartion poiesamenos e cathisen en dexia tes megalosines en hypselois. Ta suto creton genomenos ton angelon, haso diaphoroteran parautus kekleronomiken onoma. So here, as we said, the subject of the first part of the sentence is God. So in many times and in many ways, long ago, God, having spoken to the fathers by the prophets, now we get our main verb, spoke. In these last days, or in the last of these days, he spoke, God spoke to us in the Son. Then we're told several things about the Son, introduced by hon, dihu, and hos, these relative clauses that are dependent upon this main clause hanging off of a lalesen. So the Son, whom he, that is God, appointed as heir of all things, through whom, so through this Son, he also made the ages, or made the worlds, and then who, the Son who is, or being, the radiance of the glory and the impress image of his nature, of his being, and who bears, pheron, who bears all things by the word of his power. Then we notice this shift from present participle to aorist participle, depending on this aorist verb, which is really the main verb of the relative clause introduced by hos. So, who, having made purification for sins, sat down. That's the main thought of this relative clause. He sat down at the right hand of the majesty on high. And then we're given another dependent clause, but instead of being introduced by relatives, it's introduced by this correlative construction, which ties these together, and again is subordinate ultimately to this clause up here. Having become genomenos, greater than the angels, by as much as he has inherited a name which is superior to them, which is better than theirs. So this is how the whole sentence hangs together. We have our main verb here. Then in these relative clauses, we have a verb which God performs, a verb which God performs, and then as we switch to the nominative relative, participle, 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 and then finally a verb which the Son performs. And then we have another set of dependent clauses here introduced by the correlative construction, by this much, by as much. And so this is how Hebrews 1 through 4 fits together. It is all ultimately a single sentence, and it is quite a striking beginning to this epistle.